Hello, hello, hello. Eid Mubarak, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to this very, very special Eid show with your host, Ahmed Nawaz. It's finally that time of the year when meat is not just there to meet people, but it's there to eat as well. And you're all having fun throughout the day. I know this is the first day of Eid, but we've still got 2 more amazing days to go. And we're going to have a lot of food. We're going to have a lot of fun. And the party is definitely going to be on throughout the night and the day as well. Of course, it's been a hot and humid month, but then again, the rain in Islamabad especially really did the trick. I know there's been some harsh weather for some low-lying areas as well, but nonetheless, God has blessed us with yet another Eid and yet another time, not just family, friends, but all of those people who you've been away from, you've not been talking to. It's finally that time of the year when you can just go to them, give a hug, and just take out all your worries and just love them for once in your life and enjoy this festive month. We always bring you these special moments, whether it's Eid, whether it's any special program as well. This year's Eid is even more special because in just 2 days of time, we're going to have Pakistan's Independence Day as well. So you've got twice the reasons to celebrate. Go out there and have a blast, as they say. Keep the party rocking. And we've got the fantastic panel here who's going to be enjoying Eid with us as well. They've had a great Eid day as well. Of course, like I said, it's the first day, but we're coming down with 2 more days to go. We've been joined by none other. I'm going to introduce them one by one. She's none other than she's a professional cyclist. She's an international cyclist, if you want to call it. She's doing cycling on places I won't even dare go to because it's too cold, but she definitely has some magic there as well. She is none other than Miss Samar. Samar, Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak, I'm good.
Are you still doing adventures on top of the world?
Yeah, but not on Eid day.
No, finally not on Eid day. Eid brings us other adventures as well. You've got to fight that food in front of you. You've got to, get away from your fears and actually accept that this is the animal you've been loving for the past week, and finally it's time now for it to love you inside your stomach. Well, that's how it goes. But with Samar, we're going to have to balance these as well. He's an international squash player. He's won all kinds of prizes for Pakistan, #1 in the country. Internationally, he's been performing as well. He's none other than Mr. Farhan Mehboob. Farhan, Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak. How are you?
Eid Mubarak. I'm fine, good.
Eid is special for an athlete as well. You finally get to relax.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, of course. But if we have no tournaments, that's then.
Otherwise, tournaments on Eid can happen too.
Yeah, because after Eid I have a tournament. So.
Oh, so you'll be preparing after the first.
Of course.
So we're going to ask Farhan afterwards if he gets away from his diet routine as well. But Eid can never be special unless you add glamour to it. And just to add that glamour, she's a model, she's an actress, she has all the glamour that is in the world. She's the very magical Miss Dalinda. Dalinda, Eid Mubarak, how are you?
Assalamualaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Walaikum assalam. How's your Eid going so far?
It's really good.
It's really good?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Really? Finally, somebody's excited as well. And of course, with Dalinda, we have another man who is a CEO. You get that demeanor from CEOs. They might be very evil, or evil might not be the word, but then again, you might get that word that there'll be that bureaucratic stuff, but he's as nice as he can be. I just met him before the show as well. He's none other than Mr. Umar Toor. Umar, Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak, how are you?
Khair Mubarak.
I love your mustache.
Thank you very much.
Go something like that. Definitely, I'm going to take some tips. But that being said, we had you on the other Eid as well.
Yeah.
It's Eid al-Adha now. Things get different. A lot of food once again. But I want to ask you, I always keep asking you this, are you cycling on Eid as well?
No. Yeah, for athletes, it's a big protein day because first day protein, second day protein, third day. So we stock a lot of protein because we know we have to shred it afterwards in gym and workouts. So no, Eid has always been very relaxing, very warm. Family gatherings, food, and then different varieties of barbecues and stuff. So yeah, yummy.
Yummy is the right word. If you want to say Eid this year, #yummy should be there. Farhan, over the years we've seen evolution of time. Family members often are living far away from each other. Traditions are changing. The culture is still there. Not many family gatherings. We used to have 50, 60 people at one time. Now it's coming down to 30, 20. The next generation is a little far away. They like spending Eid at home. But there are some families who try to keep tradition alive.
You see, I belong from Pashtun family, so this Eid and this kind of religion, we have a very important things because when I go to meet my family when special Eid time, So we didn't have that much time so celebrating that Eid, because after 6 years or after 7 years, this is my first Eid, so I was spending with my family only for 1 day. Then I have a tournament, so I have a comeback, and then I start training again because I have 4 tournaments. So yes, of course, I miss Eids and I miss my family, so we spending a lot of time, and I go to my village, that's Nawakali, to belong from 7 world champion from there, I think. So I meet with my family's members, like my cousins, and I spend all day,
It's
all
a golden
night.
village.
Golden
so many
village,
champions
yeah.
over there.
Golden village, yeah.
Yeah, so that makes it more special. Everybody from the village would come probably. To
Come
is
from,
it in
yeah.
Peshawar?
It's in Peshawar, yeah.
Peshawar.
Yeah, and it's
So-
a very unique place, you know, like 7 world champion. So like in Eid, I spend when I go up, we wake up so early in 5 a.m. like because we are ready for Salah.
Yes.
That Eid
Yes, and
times
then all
like
those
7,
sacrifices
7.
and everything.
Then I go specially, you know, I never forget because of my grandmother yard. I think I pray there, and then I start to meet my cousins and family, and then I come for my
But
special.
this is very important, you know, because remembering those family members who are not in this world anymore, you know, it's very special to start your day with them. And I think everybody should at least do that.
I miss so much my grandmother because she's so close to me, and I still remember her, like the way he treat me. She treat me like
Yeah.
like an angel, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, I miss her parathas and chai and
Oh.
that meats, you know. So this
But
is
she's definitely still with you.
Yeah.
We can hope that she's
Inshallah.
with you in her spirit as well. Dalinda, all the fame, the glory. You look absolutely amazing. You look like a queen, and you are one, aren't you?
Thanks.
But how does Eid get special for you?
Because of my parents and my family, I mostly celebrate with my family. So it's always full of excitement, and you know, like relatives come in and we celebrate. Sometimes relatives come in from Lahore, because most of my family relatives, they are from Lahore. So they come either on the first day of Eid or the second day, because of this, you know, this Eid al-Adha, they had to slaughter the animals and everything.
Yeah.
So after mostly the second day of Eid, they come from Lahore, and obviously it's summer, so they always have a plan for the hill stations and all. So third day we
Escape
go
the
there.
heat.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have, like, you know, obviously not just family, but millions and millions of fans who would want to celebrate Eid with you as well. So that's also a part of this.
Well, I love my fans.
Yeah,
no
so you
doubt
love your
about
fans,
it.
and they love you too, and that's what makes all of us special, is because of our fans as well. Umar, CEO already sounds like a business tycoon, but you definitely want to get away from work when it comes to Eid.
Well, absolutely yes. Whether I want or not, the Eid takes me along. You know how it goes on here. Alhamdulillah. As far as my memory goes back, it has been like this, that all my uncles and everybody, because since my father is the eldest of the brothers in the family, so everybody comes to our house on the Eid day. So everybody has started to, you know, they start coming at early morning right after prayers, and then the whole day is together. So you were saying, like, you know, families are getting kind of, you know, distant, and yeah, there is a slight part, but when you grow, you know, like families keep getting extended.
Yeah.
But I am blessed that our family still spends at least these 3 days very much together, and that's the best I can think of.
So
in
you're
the whole
keeping
year.
traditions alive. That's
Oh, very
important.
much, very
Yeah,
much.
and
very
you
much.
really, you know, this is what we should transfer to the next generations as well. But tell me about your work as well. I want to know how does it, you can say, bring a change in you as an individual as well. Being a CEO is not an easy job, I understand. But tell me about your course of work.
Well, I'm not sure if being a CEO is more complicated, or what I do is more
More
complicated.
complicated.
Because I have been part of 5 private sport leagues which have been launched in Pakistan, starting from professional boxing. It was never here. I brought World Boxing Council license to Pakistan. Then I ended up in wrestling. So I promoted wrestling last a few months. In December, you must have seen some wrestlers
Yeah,
in Pakistan.
definitely.
I was part of that venture. I have just launched this with my team, of course, not me myself, with the team. Just launched mixed martial arts. So yes, before the show we were discussing, and you guys were discussing, I was just listening. We do need to change our mindset. We have practically destroyed sports over the last 30 years in
There's no
Pakistan.
culture of sports in Pakistan.
Exactly. So that's not about individuals. That's a social mindset. Sports, it's time for us to treat it as an industry, as a profession, as a career. If as far as I go back, if our childhood, whosoever would be playing, that means you're wasting your time. It was never treated as a career. It was never treated as an industry.
Yeah.
Where the fact is that it's the sixth largest industry of the world. So it's still not part of our curriculum in our schools and the business graduates. We still do not have any sports marketeers.
And it's easy to understand this because an NBA player would make a lot of money than a Harvard graduate.
Absolutely.
That's straight on.
You can go, you can go into the list and except our athletes, every other athlete is making money.
Yeah.
So I am striving to make things work out and make people understand that it's economically. One small example, $800 billion was the sports tourism last year in the world. We stand at 0%.
Yeah, definitely.
There has to be a reason behind it.
Yeah.
So until somebody like you, somebody like them, somebody like me would not step up, nobody else is going to come here.
And it's got to be a public-private partnership. Can't be without
It is. The private sector. That is why it would probably go harsh, but none of the federations have produced any good results in the last 30 years. I know I'm going to be taking a troll on it. And it could be a hashtag, something about me. But I think it's time for the private ventures. And we have just partnered up with Zalmi. And one of the great brands, PSL, is Pakistan's, the only brand made by Pakistan is a sports brand.
Yeah.
You cannot name any other brand. It's Pakistan's most expensive, most priced brand, and it's a sports brand. So I think everybody needs to realize.
But you're absolutely right that this needs a social change as well. But this is where these kinds of events come in handy, Samar, don't they? Because like we say, Eid is that one time of year when you got to connect with people, not just your family as well, but all of the other people somewhere, whether they're from the underprivileged sections of the society, whether they're relatives or friends who have been grumpy and aggressive all the year. But it's actually your job to make them come together.
For athletes, it becomes a bit easy because with time they build their patience and that openness because of traveling in different countries. So an athlete is really different in normal life as well, and it brings that spirit in normal life as well. So he's an athlete. Athletes are always open to invite people, to connect, to welcome them. So I hope that what happens in Eid too. We try to connect with our families, with our far-flung relatives.
But you
and
say
friends.
patience.
Yeah.
I know Farhan smashes rackets all the time. So I've broken bats as well, so I know this. But patience, especially on Eid?
It's happening, because if you play with your country and especially
The
in
stakes are high.
Pakistan, so yeah, it's anger. We call him anger sometimes, but I told you before, like I get £500 fine, so I will pay him. So this is what happened,
And every time you get angry, you have to think £500 if I get angry.
Yeah, this is, because that crucial time, like what the score was like 2-0 and 9-0, so if I get 1 point, so maybe I can win the title, so this is very important for me. Like, so sometimes, yeah, the passion we can.
He released the anger in the match, then he gets normal.
You can't break your cycle, can you?
No.
You can't just pick it up and throw it wherever you want. It's heavy.
Maybe cycle is more expensive than racket,
That's what you got to think about. Dalinda, right, such a big industry which you're in, such busy schedules. Has it been ever that you've got to have shooting on Eid days as well?
Not exactly so far, because I just joined this industry like a few years back, and mostly the recordings are done like a bit before the show, before Eid and all. So yeah.
So how
but
do you see
immediately after the Eid, there are always some commitments. Yeah.
So how do you see this? Like we talk about, this is a tough industry, but then again, it's a very successful one as well. How do you see your journey so far?
It's really good, but we still need to tap into the important things that are still not defined, especially in our industry over in Pakistan, because there are lots of barriers as well.
Yeah, social
so
barriers
we really,
as well.
yeah. So, but I think it's progressing. It's far better than it was before, like 10 years back, and now it's like become really good, especially in Karachi and Lahore, and now even in Islamabad, it's like working really good.
Working really good as well. Umar, we're tough guys, aren't we, all of us? And when it comes to Eid, then meat is our thing. What about you? Do you have this, obviously I don't want to call it a tradition, but are you a barbecue freak like me as well?
I am, but I am still trying to legitimize the concept of could we do chickens as like sacrifice, but it's not helping me out, so I have to go for that meat. But yes, of course, it is. it's all about me. It's about family. So everybody else wants it, so I got to be with them no matter what. So yeah, 3 nights. It's barbecue.
So are you on the cooking side or the eating side?
I'm kind of like
The middleman.
The middleman, yeah. I just sit. But I get dressed up in the morning, like when the day starts, and I stay like that till the end. So I'm just sitting, meeting people. There are a lot of guests coming in. And that's the best opportunity for me to practically invest time with family.
Yeah, that's true.
And to be close to my father too. You know,
yeah,
we
obviously.
really do not get too much time together. He's also busy. I'm also traveling a lot. But yeah, this is one of the best. These 3 days.
Yeah,
are
the best connection that,
yeah.
Well, we're talking about connections as well. There's one very particular connection that we develop on this Eid, and that is of course on Eid al-Adha, and that is with our animals as well. Samar, have you been connected emotionally with your animal?
No, I don't get time to pamper my animal or spend time with him.
Because you pamper your cycles.
Yeah, and other things. So, and luckily the boys get the job, pampering, sacrificing, and then collecting the meat and everything. We just cook it and eat it. That's what we can do. But yeah, it's they seem cute from the distance. Yeah, from the distance.
So you're not the one who go
No.
close to them.
No.
But for us, Farhan, it's always special. You have to go to the cattle market as well. First of all, select your animal out of all those millions of animals. Try to bargain as much as you can, get a good price. Then try to graze it as much as you can, and at the end of the day, be tough enough to watch it get sacrificed.
Trust me, I never go in my whole life like to buy any animal because I live with my dad and my cousins. So I want to just saw him, and that's the part, like before one day I just go to home, and then after second day I just come back and starting my training. So yes, I'm a lover of animals because I love dogs, but the small one, not a big one, because I'm very fair, So this, yeah.
Yeah, so that's your love for animals. That's how limited it can be.
Yeah.
There are sometimes. Dalinda, are you afraid of these sacrificial animals?
Not exactly, but I feel like I find them very innocent. Yeah, and
You don't
I
like
feel
it when they get sacrificed?
Yeah, I just feel pain. So I never see it.
So whenever you're eating meat, do you actually hear them saying something? Do you hear like bars or moves?
I'm
when
not
you
aware, I'm not too much into eating meat and all because I feel bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly,
There are some. I hope you're the tough one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I do not mind. They are supposed to be sacrificed.
Sacrifice. That's the whole point.
I think that's why they were born.
Yeah.
So it's time for them to go.
So it's a tradition, isn't it, as well at the same time? This is like a whole festival, going to the cattle market, selecting it, bargaining as much as you can. Bringing it home is another challenge. If you don't find a good transport vehicle, sometimes you've got to put it in the back of your seat when it tries to bite your ears as well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like social and cultural challenges along with the religious and economic challenges.
Yeah.
Quite a complicated
this year
scenario.
it's been economic as well,
Now,
especially.
No, I think as far as we have been hearing, honestly, yeah, where every Eid the animals just got expensive. So this is the same case as this year too, the same story, but still we'll end up sacrificing, buying. And,
Yeah, who knows, this might be the next big industry in the world as well.
I think it already is. Cattle farming, yeah. it
Yeah,
is.
definitely. Summer, 3 days to celebrate, not just one. The first day is probably now, starting from the sacrifice now till the very evening. Then what's the plan for the rest 2 days?
As you know, day to day it gets slower and calmer because in these 3 days, 3 or like 4 5 days, the long holiday includes. So I get the pause to get relaxed and to research on my next expedition. So for me, Eid is a really good time to research and think on upcoming
Brainstorming
things.
should be there.
Because as far as you travel, like Umar said, there is a lot to do in sports and especially action sports. Launching that lifestyle, opening up the minds, making them accepting this culture. Plus, there's a lot of potential in action sports which is untapped. Say it like mountain biking, snowboarding, skiing, paragliding, bungee jumping. Then
Ice hockey. They started ice
yeah.
hockey in Pakistan. I was so happy.
There's a long list.
Yeah.
Like and as I said before, the entire platform, it's like empty, and we need to produce the local athletes and coaches. Because it's really hard to see we don't often see the proper professional coaching and nutrition for
definitely.
sports.
There are barriers there as well.
So we need to create such platforms for our upcoming generations, and as more as I think on sports, I really feel burdened somehow that, there's a long
much to
way
do.
and so much to do.
And such little time in life, definitely. That is there. But this is what we're all out to change. Farhan, it becomes special when you're an athlete because you just don't have your immediate family only, but the whole of the social circle in your sports fraternity or in squash, the federation, your fellow players, the youngsters, the seniors, they become your family as well, and Eid can be with them as well.
Yeah, we spent like the third day of the Eid, like we just come back from the family, so we spent here in squash court, and all the players are we celebrating last day of Eid. But this time, as far I told you, like we have I didn't have that much time because I put put my name in 6 tournament, and that was the biggest tournament, like the London Open and that's American Open. So I'm so much focus on these tournaments because I have to prove now. I have to prove because I have a time, because someone, and there's a lot of people are behind me, like they saying a lot of negative things about me, like that maybe Farhan can't win this tournament. So I have to prove this, and I have to prove that Pakistani can, inshallah, and I have to.
I'm saying Farhan can do it. So
Inshallah.
don't tweet against him.
There's a lot of people help me, and they
Yeah.
pray for me, like because I'm so much serious about my country first, because my country is it's a first step for me, and so that's why I have to prove this that people wrong, and inshallah ta'ala I won this tournaments
Inshallah,
for my
inshallah,
country. So
definitely.
now more than it, there's tournaments, and that country is
Comes
more
first.
important for me.
Yeah, definitely it comes first as well. Dalinda, is it the same in the, you can say, glamour industry as well, that you have so many people who you can celebrate Eid with as well, because they're your family as well?
Yes, definitely, we can, no doubt about it. We can celebrate Eid with, our fans, with even the poor people as well, and those who are like deprived.
Yeah.
And
Then your production team, your designers,
we
stylists,
can. Yeah,
everybody.
and it's always because sometimes when you start working with them, so they become like kind of family to you, because you have to spend a lot of time with them, and then you get to recognize them, then you get to get close to them. So it's always fun to meet your friends as well, and your team and the people you work with. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
it's fun, but it's never fun unless you're embarrassing people on Eid. And we're going to go towards a short break, but when we come back, we're going to ask one embarrassing story which makes us repent. Why was that on Eid? We're going to do that, but right after this short break. Stay tuned. Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak and welcome back to this very special Eid show with me, Ahmed Nawaz. Now, before the break, we talked a lot about Eid and what it means to us in terms of our careers as well, in terms of our families as well, the traditions and the cultures, the sacrificial animals, emotional attachments, everything that was there to discuss, especially the food. And we also mentioned this Eid gets a lot special as well, because of course you've got, in 2 days of time, you're celebrating Pakistan's Independence Day, so it's going to be even more special. So once you're done with the festivities of Eid, you can celebrate Pakistan and being Pakistanis as well. Now, before the break, we did mention embarrassing stories. Samar always gets to be the first one. Do you have an embarrassing story of Eid al-Adha?
Yes, many embarrassing stories. I still remember there was, on first day or second day, I don't remember exactly, but my friend came up with few other females, and they were like 3-4 ladies, and as we sat and we started talking, so all of a sudden they started showing each other some random wedding photos, and they also like saw me that look the bride and the groom, and having no idea who they are, I just passed a random comment that, oh my god, the groom is so fat, and he's also bald, and he's looks so shiny. and then the girl was smiling in front of me, and she just said that, you know, he's my brother.
So, and you were like,
And then I tried hard to cover that up, but you know, why, Samar? Why?
It just came out. It's just natural. It just came out. But Farhan, what about you? Do you have one of these stories you remember growing up from Eid which was really, really embarrassing?
I don't have that much embarrassed story, but I have once when I play with I play in World Team Championship in Denmark, so I lose in the second round. So I go every day, like on the airport. I change my flight for 5 days, like regular. I took 1 hour train and then go to the airport and then come back. Like the guy said, sir, we have no flight and this and that. So every 5 days, like I fight with this same guy, and but I never took my flight to Pakistan. So I was crying like hell 5 days.
Did you want to go back?
Yeah, but because I was alone there. So, but this is my bad story from the last Eid. And I never forget this 5 days which I crying
It was
so
an
much.
adventure.
Like
you had an adventure for 5 days, and I'm sure that guy now remembers who Farhan Mehboob is. As well. So he's gonna
this
watch
guy
you.
is so weird, I think.
Yeah. So the next time you go there to play a tournament, you have to meet him especially.
Especially, yeah.
Say hi and say thanks to him as well. Dalinda, embarrassing stories? I'm sure
Yeah.
there are a lot in the glamour industry.
Actually, you know, due to Chandra, so we stay up late and sleep after Fajr at times. And then, you know, the embarrassing is when we wake up very late and the guests are already here.
And you're in your pajamas and you're like, oh.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that just happens
mostly
with all of us.
happens.
I think this is natural. Umar,
Well,
huge family gatherings, a lot of stories to tell.
Well, I practically do not have. I have very standard set of the Eid day, the way I do it. So it practically doesn't happen anything embarrassing. I'm sitting in one couch and, you know, everybody keeps coming and going, so it doesn't practically. But yes, 7 or 8 years while I was not in Pakistan, when I was living in States. Those are the 7 or 8 Eids which never felt like Eids. So, you know, it's not embarrassing, but that's what I just wanted to mention. You know, when you are away from home and when you're not in Pakistan, so even right now, a lot of Pakistanis would be
Out of the country?
Absolutely, yes. They are living there, working, making life, you know, work around things. But they miss Pakistan for sure. It's very important for us to get in touch with them, you know, now it's technology, social media. Call them on WhatsApp, but let's stay in touch with our
And the worst part is
there.
it's not even a holiday there. So everybody's working
Absolutely.
in your app, and even you're working at some time as well. So it gets very difficult. But you know, you all have those stories. Mine is absolutely straightforward. I was very young. This trend came on with these very traditional Indian kurtas, which had this very fancy cloth that you took over like a muffler as well, and you felt like like a Bollywood superstar. And of course, I had my animal. I was grazing it as well because it was going to be sacrificed in a couple of hours. And it was all tied up. Suddenly, I'm trying to move forward, and I realize something's pulling me back. I don't know what it is. And at the instant I look back, I see my sacrificial animal, and it has actually eaten half of my muffler cloth. And I'm trying to pull it out, and I'm like, you know, for God's sake, let it go. But so you all have these kinds of stories as well. We did talk about another factor of Eid, and that is remembering those who are from the underprivileged sections of society. We're very blessed. I must say this, and we should thank God as much as we can that we're very blessed to be from the very privileged section, and all of us are. But you know, giving to those people is really the real part of Eid, whether it's Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha, especially Eid al-Adha, because you have to divide your meat into sections, and that includes a larger section for the poor or the needy as well. So it's important to actually treat this not as a tradition or a burden, but as an obligation.
It is, and you know, luckily it comes, we receive it from our religion that we have to divide the meat in 3 parts, one for relatives, one for underprivileged communities, and then one for yourself. Even besides underprivileged people and, you know, the deserving people, even there are some like white collar communities in your close or far relatives who can't ask for it, but you have to keep your eyes open and see that who deserves it the most. And even if you have to like give some part from your own section, you should do it, and not by meat. I think you should remember the entire community, all the Muslim people around the world in your prayers, especially our brothers and sisters in the problematic areas, say of Kashmiris and the people in Syria, the people in Burma,
Palestine,
Palestine. There are like a lot of Muslims suffering at the moment. So we should remember them as a part of brotherhood, and we should send them our best wishes and warm prayers.
And prayers as well.
Hope that they'll be fine.
They'll be fine as well. Farhan, because you talked about being in your village as well, and I know lifestyle in villages is that all of us are connected as one huge family. But it's very important to know that all of those people in your village are absolutely fine. If they need help, you need to be there for them, especially on Eid.
Yeah, of course, we help our family, because everyone have a lot of poor families and rich families. That in my family, there's a lot of poor. My cousins are there because they have no jobs there, so we definitely helping out for the meat. And my dad, sometimes they giving money, or sometimes they asking for anything like. So we are there for them, yeah, because they have a right on for right because. So this is the main part, because if you help poor people, maybe Allah is helping you sometimes.
Yes, that's how it goes. Dalinda, you're in an industry which is huge, and probably when you guys do something for the underprivileged, it actually becomes a trend and a lot of people follow it.
Yeah, it does. But actually, whenever it's a part of like some celebration, I believe that whenever you are celebrating happiness, it should start with, taking care of those people who are deprived. It should start with this, sacrifice and giving in the name of Allah too. So that because, happiness is granted to us by Allah. So we should pay thanks in this way. So this is very important, that we should not forget about the underprivileged or deprived people in our hour of happiness, So I believe that.
Keep them on board as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You were talking about, Umar, you talked about industries, economy, and a lot of stuff as well. You talked about changing the culture here in Pakistan regarding sports as well. But probably the first thing which every one of us needs to do is bridge that gap between us and the underprivileged sections.
That's very true, and I think the art of giving is practically the way to be happy. And if recently, there are a lot of new terms. One of it is the happiness index. The happiness index, if you would study and go through it, it's higher where the people are more into giving. It's not an obligation. If you want to be happy, just give it out. You would be happy. Nobody can eat or live in. Nobody can eat from more than a certain quantity or something. It's just the art of, we need to, and practically, alhamdulillah, Pakistan is one of the countries which is very high at the leading country in charity. I think, and we practically do it. Everybody, wherever they find opportunity, do it. And it's needless to say, we should do it more whenever the opportunity is given to you.
Yeah, and definitely, it comes from the religion as well, because Islam puts a very, very definite way of that, and that is through zakat. If that system is followed properly, then trust me, we can actually bridge this gap and balance this out as well. This is why it's very important to give it out, and like all of my guests said as well, the more you give, the more happiness you're spreading as well. Eid is definitely about happiness. I'm sure there must be a lot of times which are hard when you're failing in an expedition, something's going wrong, something's not connecting. But Eid is that one time you talked about brainstorming, not just that, but mental regeneration as well, just to calm down.
It does give you time, and as we say, and we realize that the more happiness you feel, the more you get productive. So Eid give us that boost, and it refreshes us, recharge us for the fight against.
It's like rehabilitation.
To send us back to the same old routine with the new spirit and with the new zeal. So that's how we celebrate Eid. But one thing I forgot to mention, that also remember your armed forces and the people who are also serving on Eid Day while you are celebrating. The traffic police, the motorway
especially
police.
The traffic police.
And our brothers who are guarding our borders, keeping us safe. And so reach out to them and celebrate your Eid by giving more and without judging people.
Yeah, that's for you as well, Farhan, because like you mentioned, you have some tournaments sometimes on Eid as well. So definitely the support staff needs to be given that credit as well. It's not just the player himself, not just the coach, but the support staff, the referees, all those people who are looking after the courts and everything. All of them need to be remembered.
Yeah, because we have a lot of like the Christian family there in Scotch because they're working so hard, especially in Eid days.
Yes.
And we celebrating Eid,
Yeah, when
but
we're
they
relaxing.
didn't have that off days because so when I come back here, so I'll put for each one, so I'm distributing meats there and I give him some money, and because they are a human and we should help
And they're a
him.
part of us.
Yeah, they're part of us.
They're what
because,
make you a champion.
Because if I play there, so there's a lot of shouting from the staff, you know, like, come on Farhan, you have to win this tournament and you have to win this match.
They own you as
yeah,
well.
because they respect me so well, and this is the main part. Like, if you respect your elders, you respect your like anyone, like anyone is important in your life, like the common man or the rich man.
Everybody's equal.
Yeah, equal is
Equality,
is,
equality is the
there's
key.
only one like we call him king or on like this. This is all. He's only Allah.
And
We are just
no
all
one
the
except.
same, yeah.
Rightly said, the true king. Dalinda, tell me more about the industry. Now, you said you have a lot of fans, you love your fans, they love you back as well. Has there been times when you actually feel, okay, now these fans are getting too close, it's time for me to get away now?
At times it happens, but not. But you know, it's actually the fans that make us what we are. So I always value their affection and all. So as far mostly, you know, nothing like that. Any untoward situation ever I came across. Mostly they are very respectful and they always take care.
So is it still autographs or is it selfies now? these
Selfies,
days?
obviously.
Definitely
Yeah.
selfies. No more autographs.
No autographs.
Yeah, so everybody wants to take a picture.
Definitely.
And once you're in the industry, then taking pictures is your thing, isn't it? You become photogenic. You have to actually love the camera like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
so-
doubt about it.
So what's the mostly where do you see the industry centering around? Because a lot of people say Karachi is probably the hub.
Yeah.
Then a lot of people say no, Lahore is now growing up as well, but Islamabad tends to stay a little way. So what do you think? Where is the real essence of the industry in Pakistan?
I think it's still in Karachi, if you see, yeah. It's still in Karachi. No doubt you have said the right thing. It's like, you know, Lahore is also happening and Islamabad too, but still, you know, Karachi is
The
at
king of the industry.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Definitely, that's where
Yeah.
all it centrics around as well. But definitely, it's not just us on Eid as well. You know, it's like we mentioned, a lot of segments of society, especially those who are no longer with us as well. And I always say this because, like Farhan mentioned at the start as well, he misses his grandmother as well, who was very special. And it's very important not just to say our prayers for them, Umar, but you need to actually talk to them, connect to them as well. That's why we see on Eid days especially, graveyards are crowded because people want to see their loved ones, talk to them, connect with them, and it's very important because they can hear us.
Well, that's you know, that's kind of very, very important emotionally. Apart from all this economic and social activities, and it's emotionally you need to stay together. And then you like grandparents. They were the reason at one time when they kept the whole family together. Now they are not there. Our kids are going to learn from what we do now. So once they see us, you know, staying connected with our grandparents, that's what we transfer to our next generation.
Next generations as well.
So that's how our traditions, our
And the circle of
religion, our
life.
culture, everything needs to be transformed. So this is really beautiful thing, at least within our culture, our religion,
But
that we stay connected
And,
somehow or
and
the other.
it needs to flow on, as Umar said as well. But Umar, that being said, this Eid 2019, Pakistan Day also coming up within 2 days. Is there any message finally that you like to say out to the people? saying in the camera?
I think that's the best day this nation could think of. It's in these three. But as all other things in religion, society and everything, freedom is again something which we need to transfer to our next generation, and we better tell them that this never comes without a cost. If we keep, as you see, that you know our next generation should know that we did give sacrifices, and we would have to work hard to maintain this freedom. Once this freedom is gone, you know, you have nowhere back. So Pakistan Zindabad, and I hope that we continue to live free.
And it becomes definitely special, Dalinda, because it's Eid and Pakistan Day connecting. Any message you'd like to give to your fans for Eid as well?
Well, I would like to give them the message that let us have faith that right makes might. And in that faith, let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it.
As one as well, Farhan. Tournaments coming up, everything, but message needs to be out there.
My
to the
message is a little bit different because first of all, like Eid Mubarak to all of my Pakistani Muslim brothers and sisters. But the message is now Independence Day is coming, so I see a lot of things like the bad things with the last 14th of August, like the youngsters are racing on the road. I see there's a lot of youngsters they are
putting their life on the line.
So these things are bad, you know. So our police and there's the forces must watch these guys, you know, like they racing on the road and they harass there's families. I saw there's a lot of families, they stop their family and they put shouting on him like this is
you don't want to go out with your family. It's so bad.
This thing is bad. So first of all, like they go and they respect the families and they respect they be responsible as Muslim, as Pakistani.
As Pakistanis as well. Very well said. Samar, you get the last pick.
Yeah, something like that, because it's not about only eating meat and celebrating Eid with your relatives, but what we do afterwards, kindly dispose the remaining parts of your, you know, animal or whatever it is, the waste, dispose it off properly. Don't throw it on the streets. You don't want to smell that odor. You don't want to get, sick after that. And as you know, whoever celebrates his or her birthday, we try to give them present, right? So on the birthday of Pakistan, like on Independence Day, we should present Pakistan a very, very important gift as plants, you know.
Yeah.
We should plant the trees, like if each individual plants the trees, if we can give Pakistan a very big present gift and on Independence Day, it will keep us the environment clean, it will create more shade, produce a better place for wildlife. So do productive things, you know, instead of just shouting and racing and, you know, putting your lives in risk. Be sensible, stay safe.
Don't be Tarzans. But that being said, Samar, Farhan, Dalinda and Umar, thank you very much for being with us. It's been a special Eid having you guys as well. Eid Mubarak to all of you from my side and PTV World as well. But definitely we're going to end on this note as well. All of my fabulous guests said it all and they really put it in the right words. But, you know, another thing which I want to wrap it up on is that when you step out of the house, I think it's about time you started treating people with smiles. We've been so obsessed, honking the horns, road rage is there as well, not talking to your neighbors, so somebody broke my window, why is he at my door, everything like that. Little deeds of kindness, little deeds of love do make our earth an Eden like the heavens above. That's how they say it, and that's what you got to practice as well. But at the same time, remember the law enforcement agencies, people are still on our borders, people are still there in making sure that you have a blessed Eid, you have a great Pakistan Day as well. So you got to remember them, all the underprivileged sections, all those loved ones who are not there anymore, especially those who are not talking to you, just give them a hug and just say, I'm sorry. It'll help. Trust me, I actually second this and I can vouch for it, and I take all responsibility that you'll be the most happiest person in the world. That being said, from me and the entire team, Eid Mubarak, have a great Eid, and of course, enjoy Pakistan Day coming up very soon as well. Allah Hafiz.